Hello and welcome. My name is borisgloger. Today I would like to continue in our small series about scaling Agile. And we will talk about infrastructure today. And in one of our last videos, we talked about the architecture, that we need to have a decoupled architecture or an architecture that allows that teams can work as independent as possible. Okay? One technical solution might be to create microservices. And the basic idea is that you want to create an environment where self-organization and alignment is orchestrated in a good way. But to be able to do that, you need a kind of a platform. You need to have an infrastructure on what you can that you can use to ensure that the teams can communicate to each other. So communication is a very important part. And you need to make sure that teams are able to integrate their work together again and again and again, so that the whole product gets live and not only parts of the product. Even if you ship parts of the product, so every new part of the product needs to be needs to be shipped, needs to be produced in a way that is independent from each other, doesn't harm the whole complex or doesn't create a big issue with the whole complex. But you need to make sure that teams get feedback, so you need to integrate your product. So, meaning you need to have a technical way of integration, and how to do that is called continuous development or deployment. So the technical implementation typically is called continuous deployment, or the process that you want to do is continuous deployment. But to be able to do this, you need to have a technical infrastructure that allows teams to do it, to do a kind of continuous deployment. And the last aspect of infrastructure is space. A lot of people would like to work in an agile environment, and they want to use, for instance, the wall to disseminate information on big visible charts, or you want to sit together, or you want to have a quiet room where you can create new ideas, or you want to come up with a mob programming activity. So that you need maybe a large screen so that people can see properly. So you need a kind of space. Yeah? You need a kind of hardware infrastructure, buildings, rooms, floor plans that allows you to come up with an agile approach. What does it mean in detail? So for communication, for instance, you need a kind of a tool. Typically, it's a digital tool, so that teams can really communicate as much as possible. And the basic concept behind that communication pattern is broadcasting. So a tool that allows broadcasting, like a chat tool, typically is called Slack, or you use MS Teams. These kind of tools allows teams to broadcast the information amongst each other, also within the team, but also the whole organization gets the chance to read the information created by this team. And the funny thing is, it's more or less on time. It's like Facebook or WhatsApp. A group chats to each other, and everybody in that group gets on one side overwhelmed with all the information, all the chatter on these channels, but on the other side, everybody is informed. And that is important, that the whole system is informed about everything, because we would like to work together as a whole team in the same direction. You have to have a tool that allows you to broadcast information simultaneously to everybody. Technical wise, I talked a little bit about what you need. You need again tools, and these tools basically want and to ensure that a continuous deployment is possible. And there are so many tools out there that you can use in your specific environment. Look up some DevOps tools, and all of these DevOps tools are created in that idea. I need to have a technical infrastructure that allows me to work with different teams on the other side of the planet maybe, so that we can always create one specific product at a time. If you do this in hardware, you might need to have a shop floor where teams can work simultaneously on their parts, and in the end of a week or so, you need to integrate your hardware product into the body, or you put it together so that it can work together. Okay, when we did that with a medical device company, the most important aspect of the whole sprint was that on the last day, we tried to fit the hardware components together into one body of apparatus, of the apparat, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't work. But the important aspect is the integration of everything you do. And space, yeah, it's always the same. You need walls, not to separate everybody from each other, but to disseminate information. You need walls, you need to have coffee lounges, you need to have small cubicles maybe for 4 or 5 people so that they can work in a very tight environment. You might need to have the possibility to use a large conference areas for your open space sessions and so on. So a large area where you can bring all people together again and again is very important. Or the other way around, yeah, if you are not able to bring people together, then you need to have a technical infrastructure, broadcasting infrastructure, with video chat systems and so on, so that you can emulate the way people sit together as fast as possible. Maybe in future, this will be replaced by VR, virtual reality, so that people who sits on different sides of the planet can still have the feeling as like sitting next to each other. Okay, so why did I say the metaphor, or why do I say the metaphor for all that what I just talked about is the marketplace? I don't know if you have been to these farmer markets, for instance. On the farmer markets, there is an infrastructure, the marketplace, and there are some rules established on that marketplace. And within that marketplace, you have different booths, and on every booth is presenting their stuff, yeah? Not dependent from the other people, but they will help each other, because by standing next to each other, people can walk by and get much more information and can get some tastes. They smell maybe some flowers also in this corner, because they get a feeling for these kind of flowers. They start to think about a new kind of flavor for their supper at evening. So bringing together everybody on a kind of a marketplace, create an infrastructure, an environment like a marketplace that allows decoupling and sharing of information amongst each other as seamlessly as possible is the solution for Agile organizations. I hope that was a bit helpful for you, and you will come back to hear more about the skills that are needed for people within Agile organizations. See you later. Bye-bye.